I was trying to get my lighting right. Wow, it's harder than it looks to do this Facebook Live thing. But anyway, here I am with you. This is Success Coach Michelle Weimer, and I'm super excited to have you joining me today. If you're here or as you get here, type in a little comment in the comment box so I know you're here hanging out with me today. And what I want to talk about today is clarity. Hey, Lorraine. Clarity and defining a theme for your life. So if you have not set a theme for this year, 2019, then this is going to be super helpful for you. And if you're struggling to even figure out what your goals are, what you want to accomplish this year, or just how you want this year to turn out, then starting with defining a theme for yourself and for your year can be super helpful. And the reason for that is because often what we find is there are patterns within our life. There's maybe a common thread with how things feel for us or don't feel, if we're unhappy in certain areas or if we are super happy in areas. And so what we find when you really start to look at, like, what are your goals? What are the resolutions? What are the things you want to change? You start to see that a pattern emerges. And in defining a theme for your year, it can encompass many, many areas. And today I'm going to tell you what my theme is for this year. And a theme can be one word, it can be a series of words, it can be a statement of some sort. So it's really about what fits you, and that's why defining your theme is so very, very important. It's like, we could all take a word. I could give each and every one of you a word, and based on your life, your history, your knowledge, your upbringing, you might have a different definition for that word than someone else because it's how it applies to you in your life. So say, for example, I give you the word happiness. Well, what does that mean for you? It might mean something completely different for you than it does for me, than the next person. Maybe the word connection. If I was to ask you, what does connection mean to you? It may mean something very, very different than what it means to me. So not only having a word or a phrase as a theme for your year is important, but really knowing that deep why and the definition, defining that for yourself is super important, because it's really about what matters to you. Because when you show up as your best self, when you are doing your best and you are living to your highest potential, then that benefits everyone else around you. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start with kind of giving you some ways that you can define out your theme for this year. And then I'm going to help you with a little exercise on how to define your ideal self. So they're very similar, but a theme, again, for the year is different. That might be different languaging. It might be the same words when we're all said and done, but it also can be a little bit different. So let's start with the theme for the year, okay? So here's one way that you can do it. You can ask yourself some questions. Take some time this week, maybe, and just sit down and do some journaling. It really doesn't take very long. Sit down and do some journaling. Ask yourself this question, this first question: what makes you happy? Like, what really makes you happy? Maybe it's your relationships and the people that you love to be around in your life. Maybe it's not being around anyone at all, sitting down with a book and having quiet time. Maybe that just lights you up and just makes you feel good inside, makes you happy. Maybe it's going hiking or going dancing. Maybe it's playing music or going to the beach. Maybe it's but for me, like, I love watching my girls play ball. That makes me happy. It's where I want to be, is with my family. So think about what makes you happy, and how can you have more of that in your life? more of the things that make you happy. Because when, again, when you're happy, when you are feeling good about yourself, when your energy is high, when you're focused and you have clarity about the direction that you're going, it just creates more of that for yourself. And when you're showing up again as your best, then you're serving others at a higher level. You're a better spouse, you're a better parent, you're a better employee when you're happy and things are going well for you. And it doesn't mean that everything has to be happy and like hunky-dory all the time, don't get me wrong, but the idea is, if we're creating a theme for the year, it's like we want to work towards these things. So define out for yourself what makes you happy, and then look at, how can I have more of that in my life? And for those of you who are workaholics and you're like, oh, I have to work, I have to do more of this, I have to be more productive, know this, that sometimes taking the time out to rest and renew and to do some things that make you happy will reset your energy level, your creativity, and your productivity, and you're actually going to be more successful when you give yourself the time to do things that make you happy. So the second question then is to think about the areas that you feel you are unhappy in. Okay, what areas of your life are you unhappy with? And how might you change that? What do you need to do to change that? If you're unhappy with your weight or your energy levels, your physical appearance, what do you need to do to change it? Maybe you need to start eating well. Maybe you need to get on some supplements. Maybe you need to start exercising. Maybe you just need to get outside and start walking or doing something. Maybe you need to go back to looking at those things that make you happy and do more of them. So where are you unhappy in your life? Maybe, again, I'm talking about physical or personal, but maybe it's in relationships. It's time to step it up and be more present and be more committed to your relationships. Maybe it's in your business or your career. You've been just getting by and kind of half-assing it. And maybe it's time to step it up, to step up your game. Because interestingly enough, sometimes when we're unhappy in our business or our career, yes, sometimes it can be the environment we're in or the job that we're doing, and it's time to really take a look and see about changing that. But sometimes it's really just a dissatisfaction with yourself. And if you can up your game, you feel better about yourself, and therefore you're actually happier in your work. So think about that. Where are you unhappy, and what can you do to be a little bit happier, to create more happiness in that area? And then the last one in this particular section is, do you have a clear mission or a purpose in your life? Do you have a clear mission or purpose in your life? Now, this can often be tied to your career or your business. For many, many people it is, but not for everyone. If you are a stay-at-home mom, then your mission and your purpose in life, well, you have the hardest job of all, first of all, but it's about, raising your family, raising a happy family. If you are a working parent, it still might be part of your mission is to be a good role model for your children and for your employees or for people that you work with. And so mission can absolutely be tied to your career, but it doesn't have to be. So think out of the box there. What is your mission or your purpose in life? And are you fulfilling it? Okay, so in answering these three questions for yourself, look for, again, the themes or the patterns or the threads and how that might become your theme for this year. So I'm going to tell you mine, but I want you to hang on. Here's the deal. If I tell you what my theme is for this year, then no jumping off the line, because I still have some more great stuff for you. So make sure you continue to watch. But I'm going to tell you what my theme is so that you can see how answering these questions can help you identify what your theme is for the year. So my theme this year is giving. One word, simple. And again, it doesn't have to be one word. When you start to identify your theme, you may have 2 or 3 words. You may have a phrase or a full sentence. You may have a whole paragraph once you define it out. And when you hear more about my word giving, you'll see that I've clearly defined it. So it's giving for me this year. And the reason why I chose that is because I have a mission and a purpose in my life, which is to serve others and to help other people live a higher quality of life. I want the people that I work with, my clients, I want the people that I connect with and interact with to have, a higher quality of life and experience. And I want to help them get there. And the way I can do that is to give more value. That's part of the reason I'm right here, right now on this Facebook Live. And let me tell you, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone because as you know, you always see my recorded videos, but you never see me live. So I'm like throwing this out off the cuff here. It's a little nerve-wracking, but my mission and my theme for this year is to be more giving. So I want to connect with you more. I want to be here with you. I want to talk this out with you and help you by giving you more content, more value, more quality, so that you can in turn experience a higher level in your life, more success, more happiness, more joy, whatever it is that you're looking for, that more for you. In me giving more, it's going to hopefully help you get more of the things that you need in your life. So that fits my mission and my purpose this year. And then the things that make me happy, giving to my family, being there for them, giving to my friends. It's one of the areas when I looked at what I was unhappy about sometimes. I get unhappy sometimes when I feel like I'm not giving to my friends. I'm not as connected with them. I don't get together with them as often. And let me tell you, it's hard sometimes because I have a busy life, like running around and watching my girls play ball. It's almost a full-time job. When I mentioned earlier those stay-at-home moms that have a full-time job, parenting it's a big job. And then you add on a full-time job and clients and, having more clients and giving more to them. Like, I also don't want to lose that space in my life for myself, as self-care is so very, very important. So giving to myself, that's an area where I wasn't overly happy with. Sometimes and some of you can relate to this, probably 99% of you, where you give of yourself at the expense of yourself. So you're always giving to others, but you don't always take care of yourself. And so when I noticed that in my life, that I'm not giving to myself by maybe making sure that I'm taking good care, that I am putting myself first when I need to, that's something important. So giving not only to my clients, but to my family and to my friends, I knew those are the things that make me happy. I love being of service. It's just who I am. But I also knew that when I'm not fully engaged in those areas, I'm not happy with it. So how could I do more? And it's in giving more, but not forgetting that I need to give to myself as well, that I need to take care of myself. So giving is my theme for this year. And here's the really cool thing about that. When I give more, or when you give more, but I'm saying for myself personally because this is my theme, when I give more, I get more. I feel so good when I have a client who has success, when they have a big aha moment or a big breakthrough. Like, that lights me up. I love it. I love it. And so when I give more, I get more. When I see a friend happy as me, I have a very, very dear friend who's been in the hospital now for months, and I try to go see her regularly. And to see the look on her face when I walk in the room, that's pretty awesome, and knowing that I'm there for her and that I'm giving to her when I show up, it's rewarding to me too. So I get out of that. So anyway, that's my theme. If you have, so maybe these words aren't working for you, these questions aren't working for you, and you're like, I don't know still, I'm not so sure what to do about my theme. Here's another way that you can do it, okay? So I'm going to give you another example. You can ask yourself to identify 3 words. So I gave you one. It was one word. That was my theme because it was based on a pattern for those 3 questions that I answered. This next example is going to be where you could maybe identify 3 words that fit for you. So the first thing that you might do is ask yourself, what word is it that would describe the kind of person that you want to be for others? So in other words, this word would define how you want to show up in your relationships or as a role model. Okay. So if, again, your relationships, being a role model. That might be personal, it might be professional, it might be to complete strangers, you know. If you think about how you show up to complete strangers, like I was at the store the other day and I just made a conscious decision that I was gonna be kind to everyone I saw, you know, I'm giving. And it was amazing then the ripple effect that that had. And by me showing up that way, I believe it caused others to show up that way. So being a role model and interacting with people doesn't even have to be with your loved ones or your coworkers. It might be with a complete stranger. Nonetheless, give yourself a word. So for me, sharing mine again, my word is loving. That's the word that I choose for reminding myself that I want to be loving to other people, whether they're strangers. And so in my definition of that, it becomes about being kind, being non-judgmental, being respectful. So you may have that one word, which again helps you. So the idea behind having one word is it's a quick reference. It's a quick way to trigger your mind into the kind of action that you want or the intention that you have for how you want to show up. So for me, it's loving. Then the next word, or the next question that you might pose to yourself is, what word depicts the kind of person that you want to be for yourself? Okay, and this might be a word that you want to show up as every day in order to help you be your best self in your professional life, in your personal life. If you're a student, maybe in your studies. If you are, in your home life. What word would depict the kind of person you want to show up as every day? Okay. And this word might describe who you'd have to be in order to be proud of who you are. So think about that. If you're showing up a certain way every day and you like what you're, that person that you're being, if you're proud of that person, what word could you use to define that or describe that for yourself? So for me, I'll tell you I'll tell you that one in a second. The third one is the word that would describe the person that you want to become this year overall. Okay, so this would be a word that would describe your ideal self. Okay, your ideal self would be the person that you want to be more than anything in the world. What's that? And an easy way to do that is to say, if I had people describing me, if someone were to say, oh man, that Mary, that Michelle, that Stephanie, that Tim, he's such a blank guy. What is that word for you? How you would like people to describe you overall and how you want to be overall. Okay, so pick 3 words there. Maybe that becomes your theme for the year. And what happens, the whole idea behind having the theme is, if you have the theme, then everything you do, the New Year's resolutions that you set, the goals that you set, they all have that theme as the common thread because you're always working towards that. If you want to create a year full of peace, let's say. So I've actually asked a bunch of people to give me if they could describe their theme for the year in one word, what it would be. Peace is one that comes up, confidence, simplicity. There's been some really great words that have come up. And if you have a word, then comment, share it with me here, share it on my blog in this thread that goes with this theme for 2019. If you go to michelleweimer.com, you actually see in the blog, it's the blog for this post for this week. You can share your comments there. You can share them right here on Facebook. But just, if that's your word, so again, let's say peace is your word, then everything you do, I wasn't expecting that. Hold on. That's what happens when you have Facebook Live, right? You have to deal with that kind of stuff. Sorry about that. So anyway, then if your theme is peace, or let's say your theme is simplicity, then maybe your goals for this year are going to be related to that. Not maybe, but they will be, or they ought to be. Simplicity. So you're going to simplify your life. You're going to maybe financially get out of debt. Maybe in your home or in your office, you're going to organize and clean out the clutter. So many people have piles and piles of clutter that are just like weighing them down. So simplicity is going to help them get clear about that. Maybe simplicity on a physical level means they're going to start simplifying what they eat. They're going to cut out sugars, or make sure that the labels that they read for the food they're putting in their mouth has very few ingredients, meaning that it's not a lot of processed stuff. So simplicity would be a great theme to have across the board, and you can see how it will apply to every area of life. This other exercise where you define 3 words, these 3 words are not just a theme perhaps for your year, but really helps you get clarity about the person that you want to show up as. So again, who you want to be in relationships or as a role model, who you would see your ideal self as being, and how that person or how that characteristic for yourself could benefit you in all areas of your life, in your personal life, in your professional life, in your, whatever. Again, if you are a student in your studies, if you are an entrepreneur in your business, if you're, with your interactions with other people. So I told you, I tell you what mine is. My word is confident. I believe that being a role model for my children, it doesn't mean I have it all together and I'm not afraid at times, but I'm confident in my ability to do things. I know how to do it. Today, when I was trying to set up this Facebook Live, oh my goodness, you guys, I was actually late getting on because I was trying to figure out the lighting, and I'm still not happy with it. Like, this is not a good spot, but I'm doing it anyway. I was confident in my ability to get on and have a talk with you guys. Then, I also believe that if I can be confident in my ability to serve, then when I show up with my clients, I'm there with them, I'm present, I'm engaged, because I'm confident in my ability to serve them. And in doing that, I help them be empowered. I help them be confident in their ability to achieve their goals. And then the last word then is like, who, or what's that word that you want people to see you as? And actually, my word is joyful, which is interesting for me because I chose that word because I feel like it's something I need to work on. I want people to see me as joyful. I want people to see me confident as well. Like, that's important, that I'm confident when I am talking about my knowledge base and how I can help and serve people. Confident in my abilities to figure things out, again, as I mentioned a few minutes ago. But I want to be joyful. I don't want people to just see me that way. Like, I truly want to be that way inside. So I'm working on what makes me joyful. And it goes back to, again, so you see how these all kind of work together? It goes back again to that question of what makes you happy? And how can you do more of that? Because when you're happy, then you give that to others. You can be joyful, and you can be like honestly, truly joyful and happy. And isn't that what life's all about? Like, why do we strive for success? Why do we have goals? It's not because we want to reach a certain level and have all this prestige. And if you do, it might be a little bit of ego. And that's okay. We all want success. I'm not saying that. But at the deep core of why, and that's actually the last piece I want to share with you today, is why you choose these words. So very, very important. Be clear about the why. That's part of that defining it for yourself. Again, we each could have a word that it means something totally different to each and every one of us based on our life. So knowing why that word is important to you, if success is important to you, then why is it important to you? Well, so for example, for me, I want to be successful. Of course I do. But it's not just an ego-based thing. Sure, some of it is. Let's be honest. Everybody has a little ego. We all want to be successful. But it's not just about that for me? For me, it's about, if I'm successful, then that means that the people I'm serving are having success. It means they're happy. They're achieving things they want in their life. That makes me extremely happy and joyful, because my success means they're having success. If I'm successful, hey, you know what? Yeah, I'm making money. And it's not about the money. What it's about is the quality of life I want to give my family. I want to be able to, travel with them when they are traveling I just got back from a tournament and I was able to go and travel and stay the whole weekend. And it was awesome. My success isn't just about me. It's about the quality of life that I can create for my family. And that brings me joy. So they all work together. And what I want to just encourage you again today is, if you don't have a theme for 2019, get clarity. Clarity is that first key piece to knowing where you're going. It's, again, anybody who's heard me talk before, you've probably heard me say it's like this GPS. If you don't know where you are and where you want to go, you're just going to drive around in circles. Like, if you don't have your GPS on your phone, then it's not identifying where you are. And if you don't put in the right destination, then where are you going to go? But if you know where you are, your phone knows where you are, and you plug in the destination of where you want to go, your phone's going to give you the best direct route to get there. And in life, when you want to set goals and you want to achieve success, whatever that success means to you, then figure out where you are, figure out where you want to go, and then you can take the best direct route to get there. So start with defining your theme for this year. Answer these questions for yourself. Get some clarity words. And, last little exercise here for you. Once you have those words, plug them in to your phone. Let them be a reminder. Now, okay, you can do two things. You can do it old school, and you can post those words on a Post-it note and stick them somewhere where you see them every day. And I'll be honest, I do it both ways. Okay, so I'm old school. I still write things down all the time. I have words posted on my office desk that I look at every single day. And these are words that I want to live by. And I just see them all the time. I also have in my phone, and this is what I would encourage you to do, is set a timer on your phone, set an alarm every day using those 3 words or your theme that you picked for yourself, and let them be a reminder. So if, for me, what's on my phone is confident, loving, and joyful. That's my alarm. And when it goes off, it's a reminder for me to, number 1, check in with myself to see if I'm showing up that way. It helps me be very intentional in my days and in how I show up every day. If I'm not doing it, then it's an opportunity for me to reset, to take a deep breath and go, okay, get after it. It's time to show up this way. And so I'm able to kind of, just hit that reset button, push back into, am I being confident? Okay, how can I be confident right now? Am I being loving? Am I being joyful? And how would I show up that way? So set an alarm for yourself on your phone. You set it a couple times during the day, like set it in the morning when you know you're really getting ready to fire up and get into some things for your work day, maybe, and then maybe in the afternoon again as a secondary reminder. Perhaps if part of your goal is really around your family life and your relationships, then maybe you do it in the late afternoon as a reminder just before you're heading home. So do what works for you. What's most important is that this theme for your year, this is your theme. That's why, again, it's so important that you define it for yourself. So my challenge for all of you, again, is define your theme for this year. Take either of the 2 examples that I gave, the 2 sets of questions. You can use either one, either a 1-word theme or a phrase, or pick 3 words for how you want to show up this year. But do it. And once you do that, then start to ask yourself, okay, if this is going to be the theme for my year. So again, say simplicity because it's such an easy example. If simplicity is my theme this year, then what are the goals I have? How can I be healthier in a simplistic way? How can I make my environment in my home, in my office, feel better in a simplistic way? How can I simplify my workday? Maybe I need to hire an assistant. How can I simplify my time at home? Maybe I need more structure there. I need a better plan. Whatever, like let the theme of the year help you identify your goals for this year. And if you're setting resolutions, then let that be part of your resolution that they meet your theme. Okay, so I hope that makes sense to all of you. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. I would love to hear from you. Let me know what your theme is for this year and look for more from me because, hey, my theme this year is giving. So I will be giving more content, more value to you. And I'm going to figure out, this is crazy. You see all this glare and reflection? I'm going to figure out this Facebook Live thing, and we're going to be connecting more. So until next time, this is Success Coach Michelle Weimer. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, John. And I will see you all soon. Bye for now.